The history of Efteling. G'day guys, how's it going? My name is AussieTash. This particular video was suggested to me by one of my members on Discord. Shout out to Jorg. Really looking forward to this one. I've seen a few pictures of this theme park. We're going to get a good history of it, see how cool the rides are. I think this video was made about 4 years ago. Things could be different to now. Who knows? Let's just get into this one. The history of Efteling, the Netherlands. Let's roll.
Welcome back to Expedition Weekly. On this week's episode, we're heading to the Netherlands to take a look at one of the most visited theme parks in Europe, Efteling.
Gosh,
I'm going to apologise in advance for my awful Dutch pronunciations, which I will pronounce wrong.
Tot gauw in de Efteling, een wereld vol wonderen.
Efteling is the largest theme park in the Netherlands and one of the oldest theme parks in the world. It opened on May 31st, 1952 and evolved from a nature playground into a fairy tale forest. We'll be taking a look at the park's history and give a little glimpse as to what this charming park based on ancient myths, legends, fables and fairy tales is all about. Located in the town of Kaatsheuvel, the Efteling Nature Park Foundation was founded in 1950 by the mayor of Loon, R.J. von der Heyden, filmmaker Peter Reinders, and designer artist Anton Pieck. The name came from a 16th century farm called Efteling. Work began in 1951 for the expansion of the park to introduce a new playground, tea house, sports field, and a pond, as well as parking facilities. It wasn't until 1952 and the introduction of the fairy tale forest that things really started to take off, and a shift from the recreational park to a theme park. The fairy tale forest opened with 10 fairy tales within it. Sleeping Beauty, Snow White and the Seven Dwarfs, The Frog Prince, Long Neck, and the Chinese Nightingale were just some of the fairy tales featured.
The Frog Prince,
in its first year, it saw over 220,000 visitors through the gates. Over the next couple of years, the park would continue to expand, adding more fairy tales such as Hansel and Gretel and introducing a steam carousel. By 1956, the attendance had more than doubled to over 700,000 a year. There is a long-standing rumour and legend that claims that Walt Disney himself visited the early Efteling Park and was inspired to break ground on his own park in California. However, this may not be entirely true. Walt did take inspiration from a variety of different places when designing Disneyland, places such as Griffith Park in Los Angeles and Tivoli Gardens in Copenhagen. So it is not a completely bogus theory that he could have drawn some inspiration from Efteling. Walt did tour the Netherlands at least once during the 50s, but allegedly this was more to visit a studio that was dubbing Walt Disney films into Dutch. It's an intriguing rumour to say the least, with the crossover of fairy tales and some similar themes.
We're here just to see Holland, to visit Holland.
Okay.
While here, I hope to pay a visit to the Polygon Profility Studios, who have been doing the Dutch versions of all of our pictures. And I hear by those that would know and be qualified to judge that they've been doing a very good job.
Wow, I haven't never really seen much footage of Walt Disney before. Like in Australia, you know, you always have dreams of going to Disneyland as a child and stuff like that. Then as a grown-up, it's all the way in America and you go, thanks, but no thanks. I really don't want to go there. It does look cool, but this park looks absolutely incredible. I love how it's so old. I love seeing the old footage. I love old sort of theme parks and stuff like that. In Australia, about 45 minutes drive from where I live, you've got the major theme parks of Australia on like Gold Coast, Surfers Paradise. You've got Dreamworld, SeaWorld, Movie World, Wet n Wild. And, you know, they've all got the new scary thrill rides and water rides and stuff like that. But man, I am too old to go on all those rides. I like little quiet rides. Movie World, that's our Hollywood on the Gold Coast. That's a really cool theme park. And it really caters for, you know, for the entire family. You've got your really scary rides, or you've got your nice family-friendly rides. And it's like Hollywood on the Gold Coast. I absolutely love Movie World. It sort of reminds me a little bit of this park. But yeah, this is really cool. I'm really loving the history, learning about one of the oldest parks in Europe, man. And just to think, back in the 1950s, there was 700,000 people going there every year. That is a lot of people, man. 700,000 for back in the 50s. My gosh.
One such connection between Disney and Efteling is true though. During the construction of Disneyland Paris, Disney Imagineers consulted Efteling during the construction and its design phase to help adapt the American park to European tastes. 1959 saw the addition of a friendly glutton, Holly Bollygeist, who is a paper devouring bin. He still operates in the park to this day and is famous around the world for begging to be fed paper.
Oh, you got to put paper in his mouth. I love scary little things like that.
If you did not grow up in Western Europe, you may be unfamiliar with some of the characters inside the park. Well, it does feature familiar characters such as Red Riding Hood. Yeah. Other characters, such as Longneck, is a character from The Six Servants, one of the Brother Grimm's less well-known stories.
I'm not sure about Longneck.
Can, as the name suggests, grow his neck to various lengths to see across long distances.
That's cool.
Throughout the 60s, more fairy tales were added to the park, as well as a miniature railway and dioramas.
I love those.
Peet, the first lead designer of the park, is seen as one of the reasons why the park had great success. His illustration style being grim and dark while also nostalgic was a philosophy the park would keep with no cheap building materials ever used. In the mid-70s, the chief designer position had been passed down onto Ton van der Ven, who had already been working at Efteling for several years. Peek was said to be very pleased with van der Ven's work, and in 1978 saw the addition of the Haunted Castle attraction, which was the first to be designed entirely by him. Van der Ven is considered by many to be the best Imagineer outside of Disney, and continued his work until 2002 when he retired. We will take a look at some of Van der Ven's rides in further details in the future weekly episodes, but he designed multiple popular attractions within the park.
Oh, wow. Have a look at that. That's like a spooky sort of medieval sort of world. Is it the theme park? Is it based on sort of medieval rides and stuff too? That's what I'm getting from looking at some of this footage that I'm seeing. This looks really, really spooky. You've got your tombstones and your little skulls and, you know, your classic green and red. You know, they're the sort of spooky lights when you go into like ghost house rides and stuff. This is sort of similar to maybe like there's haunted house rides and stuff. We've got a ride at Movie World called the Scooby-Doo ride. It's like a scary sort of haunted house ride, but it involves Scooby-Doo and Shaggy, you know, from Scooby-Doo. Don't know if you guys are familiar with that. I'm pretty sure you are. But yeah, this looks really, really cool. Probably a family ride. So, you know, you're not going up and down really, really high. You're just, you know, having things pop out and jump scare you and code brown you. This is really cool. I'm loving this suggestion. Thanks so much. Thanks, guys, for all the suggestions, by the way. There is so many on Discord, so we have got so many to come. Absolutely loving it.
The first still coaster was added to the park in 1981, called Python. This was a resounding success from its first day operating, but did have some issues operating late due to the noise the ride created later in its life. The ride was actually demolished and recreated in 2017, keeping as true to the original as possible, but with a smoother and quieter ride. The park continued to add top quality attractions throughout the 80s, and the park expanded greatly. Rides such as Half Moon, the swinging ship, Piranha, a river raft ride, Bob Track, a bobsled roller coaster, and also an observation tower, with some of the additions to the park.
That's cool. Look how big it looks. Here we go. Oh, some of the scary monster eyes with their big eyes and stuff.
1992 saw Efteling turn 40 years old, and it's celebrated by opening the first on-site hotel. There was also a museum exhibit of initial designer Anton Pieck. The resort has continued to grow since then and now offers 2 hotels, the theme park, a theatre, and a golf course, as well as 2 holiday villages. 1993 saw the addition of Dreamflight, in which visitors fly through a dream world of forests, castles, and other fairy tale-like scenes. The ride puts visitors in small open cabins hanging from the ceiling. The ride was initially supposed to open in 1992 to correlate with the anniversary, but delays with the ride cabin saw it delayed, with the ride costing €4.5 million more than expected, bringing its total cost to $12.5 million. The most expensive ride at Efteling to that day, but a beautiful crafted dark ride was added to the park.
It looks cool. So your legs are just dangling and you're flying in this little thing. But look at the beautiful footage, man.
1996 saw the addition of 2 new major parts of the park. The House of the Five Senses was created by Ton van der Ven as the new entrance to the Efteling, and the introduction of the Madhouse ride.
Holy.
Up until 1999,
Hold on, sorry, we're just going to pause it for a second because I haven't had a pause for a while. So that ship ride, that reminds me of a ride we have at SeaWorld and SeaWorld Nara Resort. It's a, how do you explain SeaWorld? it has like lots of ocean life. We've got some polar bears and, you see it's aquariums and sharks and heaps of different animals. But they've also got rides and stuff like that as well, roller coasters and everything. And they have a resort. It's called SeaWorld Nara Resort. I've stayed there a few times. Absolutely beautiful. It's a little bit old these days. It needs a bit of an upgrade, but yeah, still a beautiful resort. So that's sort of similar to Efteling here. That last ride, it sort of reminded me of something you'd see out of Lord of the Rings and something like that. Just all the beautiful little flowers and the little sort of children's sort of faces and little elfling sort of things. So pretty. Absolutely loving this video.
The park had only operated seasonally from April until October. As the park was expanding greatly and its popularity continued to increase, the park's management experimented with the idea of Winter Efteling, which would keep the park open with a selection of rides, but would feature holiday displays and Christmas lights. Winter Efteling still occurs from November until February, but the park is open year-round. As the years progress, more rides and fairy tales are continually added to the park.
Wow.
2007 saw the addition of the Flying Dutchman water coaster / dark ride, which continued the spectacular theming the park is known for. And in 2008 saw the replacement of the park's first wooden coaster, Pegasus, which was replaced by a dueling wooden roller coaster called George and the Dragon. As the park continued to expand, Efteling saw the addition of its first nighttime show in 2012 called Aquanura. The water show is the largest in Europe and features the third largest fountain in the world. It is often compared to a smaller version of Disney's World of Color at Disney's California Adventure.
Beautiful. Oh. Have a look at how beautiful that is. That's incredible. Absolutely amazing. How big is it? The music,
some notable
the lights.
additions to the park in recent years is the B&M dive coaster Baron 1898, another heavily themed coaster set in 1898 about a gold mining shaft. We'll be taking a look at some of the attractions within this park though on future expeditions. Efteling was largely built in a pine forest in a rural area, giving the park a very natural feel. It has an abundance of green space and allows the visitors to get sucked into its storytelling. Growing from just 10 fairy tales in a fairy tale forest in 1952 to over 29 these days, the park goes from strength to strength. There are a variety of different attractions, shows, and museums for all ages to be entertained, and the intricate theming and attention to detail keep this marvelous park at the top of many people's favorites. From its unique take on attractions to its focus on unique fairy tales, such as a statue of a donkey who can poop gold from the Brothers Grimm story, The Table, the Ass, and the Stick. The statue really does poop plastic gold. I strongly encourage anyone visiting Europe to check out Efteling. We hope you enjoyed this look at the park and keep an eye out on future expeditions that will give a more in-depth look at some of the rides and attractions the park has to offer.
Oh, you're going to get soaked on that water one, aren't you? The light show looks incredible.
This place is a world of wonders waiting to be discovered by you. Efteling, World of Wonders.
Efteling really is one of the best theme parks in Europe.
Wow, there you have it. The history of Efteling, the Netherlands. Amazing. This theme park was built in the 1951. Rumor has it that Walt Disney might have went there and got some ideas. Who knows? But yeah, it looks absolutely fantastic. Started off with 9 fairy tales and look at it. It's just grown and grown and grown into what, the biggest theme park in Europe? Oh my gosh, how cool was that water light show at the nighttime? That looked absolutely fantastic. It sort of reminds me, I think I've compared it to Warner Brothers Movie World, Hollywood on the Gold Coast. We've got it here. At Christmas, we have like Christmas spectacular sort of thing. Obviously it doesn't snow here. So during the Christmas, for like 2 weeks before Christmas, they make a really cool snow display. Absolutely fantastic. Where it's snowing on you as you're walking through. Beautiful. Absolutely beautiful. They call it White Christmas. I took my kids to it last year. We had such a great time. And then they've got the lighting shows. Everything's very similar. The water fountain show. That looked fantastic. I've never seen anything like that before. Guys, please jump on. Tell me your stories of Efteling. It looked absolutely beautiful. I loved it. Guys, thank you so much for the suggestions. Like I said, there are so many on Discord, so we've got so many videos to watch together. If you like this video, please jump on, smash the like button, leave a comment, and of course, remember to subscribe. That really helps me out. Also, please share your stories of Efteling. I'd love to hear them. Cheers from down under. Take care. Bye.